"Sir," asked the young apprentice, "what is the purpose of living?" "To make a masterpiece of your life," replied the master craftsman. "To this end, you will focus all your energy, all the days of your life, to leave behind for future generations a legacy of great value in a work which speaks for itself." The Anonymous Craftsman. To turn a vision of oneself into a tangible result requires commitment, skills, and the right tools for the job. This is making a masterpiece of your life. Phase 1. Apprenticeship. The learning stage. Apprenticeship is rooted in the word to apprehend, or to understand something. It has as much to do with learning how to learn as it does with what to learn. In learning life as a craft, apprenticeship is the specific period of time during which one learns to comprehend the nature of the raw materials of the craft and the skillful use of the tools of the craft. In many cultures, the apprenticeship phase takes place sometime during a 12-year period beginning at about age 12 to 14 and on to ages 22 to 24, depending upon a variety of circumstances, including the requirements for training in one's chosen vocation, as well as other life responsibilities which may have to be taken up. The apprenticeship phase and the practice of life as a craft is comprised of 3 clear goals to focus the attention of those in the apprentice stage on a defined, measurable outcome. Goal 1. Transition of responsibility, the rite of passage. Across the world in human history, when young men and women reach their early teens, we act out ceremonial rituals or rites of passage, signifying the end of childhood about age 12 to 14, the stage when an individual is considered to be fully in the care of his or her guardians, who were fully and legally responsible for their well-being, and the passage or crossing the threshold, entering the society of adults. It is the beginning of apprenticeship where the individual, with the continued support of his or her guardians and mentors, formally receives from their guardians a transfer of ownership and responsibility for making a masterpiece of one's own life going forward. Depending upon the culture, coming-of-age rites of passage marking the beginning of the apprenticeship phase run from the purely ceremonial to the physically extreme. In the practice of life as a craft, the traditional way of craftsmanship, marking the beginning of the apprenticeship phase, is a cooperative agreement between guardians, apprentice, and mentors together to achieve within a certain time frame the apprentice's demonstrated proficiency in the knowledge and skills required to successfully cross over from one's apprenticeship and enter the Journeywork phase of life as a skilled craftsman or craftswoman, and make one's own way in the world through the applied practice of craftsmanship. For guardians, it is a rite of passage marking their recognition of release over their total decision-making responsibility for a child, and the beginning of a new adult conversation of self-determination, rights, and responsibilities. For the apprentice, the rite of passage marks the realization and acceptance of the responsibility for making a masterpiece of one's own life has begun, and is now in their hands, the craftsperson of their own unique life. Goal 2. Learning how to learn, the way of craftsmanship. From the beginning of our history, human beings have interacted with the world around us to understand and make sense of what something is and how it all works. We are inquisitive by nature. An inquiry is any process that has the aim of increasing knowledge or solving a problem. It is a particular approach or method a process for understanding something. There are many forms or methods of inquiry for learning and understanding something that have been developed over thousands of years, each with its own particular set of rules or process. For example, a traditional approach to learning many crafts, occupations, and professions is to observe and mimic what the mentor is doing through continuous practice until the outcome is deemed correct by the mentor. This method of learning by doing, handed down from generation to generation, with often very little change in technique, has many practical benefits by eliminating the painstaking process of trial and error, having already been suffered by previous generations, providing the apprentice a fast track to proficiency in the craft. We call this standing on a foundation built on the shoulders of giants. In the practice of life as a craft, very often we're going to be called upon to perform by producing works of quality and durability for which there is no mentor to guide us through the process to a successful outcome. Whether it is someone throwing a mess across your desk at work or managing a family situation at home, we have all been in that place, flying blind by the seat of our pants and trying to figure it out as we go along. In the way of craftsmanship, a critical goal of the apprenticeship phase is learning appropriate methods for how to extract the knowledge of how something was done that lies hidden within the finished work itself. It is a form of reverse engineering inquiry, where the invisible craftsman who created the original work reveals themselves through their finished work. In the late 19th century, Charles Wesley Emerson, founder of Boston's Emerson College, developed an approach for learning reverse engineering the great literature of history from ancient times up to the present, in order to interpret them for audiences as presentations of eloquent oratory. In his words, the world's great literature was meant for the hearing. It is a simple method in 4 steps that can be applied to a great many learning subjects and extract the lessons contained within when there is no craftsman or mentor present. Step 1. The whole. Looking at the object from a distance in order to see its full perimeter is viewing the whole. Put a frame around it, like a painting, by placing it inside a set of defined borders, so that we can set it apart from all other things in order to focus our attention on the one thing alone. Some things are easy to do this with, as their edges, like an artist's canvas, can easily be defined. However, many subjects and objects, such as thoughts and emotions, appear at first glance to be a tangle of shadowy edges, making it difficult to get your arms around, leading to the common feeling of overwhelm and lack of control, leaving you unable to cope with or understand what this thing is to be learned. The exercise is to start with familiar objects and subjects and practice defining them as a whole, setting them apart from all other objects. Then progressively move on to more complex objects. In time, you will perfect the ability to see the whole of an object clearly through the static of the world around you and the distracting thoughts within you. The parts. The next step is to identify the main component parts which are bound together to make up what we first see as a whole. If it were a work of literature, it might be the chapters which collectively form the book as a whole. An automobile's main parts might be the suspension system or foundation, which supports the entire automobile, and upon which sits the propulsion system or engine, the passenger cabin or the interior, and finally the exterior or outer body, which defines the edges of the object as a unique whole. The exercise through reverse engineering is to analyze what the original craftsman defined as the necessary parts to form the whole. From this process, you will learn that anything large can be broken down into manageable parts. The relationship of the parts. Step 3 takes us into the connection between the parts as independent objects themselves. Each part is a whole unto itself. However, by itself, it sits in isolation without being connected dynamically in a positive, energetic, and innovative manner to other parts within the system as a whole. Thus, the parts in relationship to each other demonstrate which parts receive energy from and which parts energy is passed to. This exercise teaches the apprentice to observe and learn the process at work among the parts in order to achieve a particular end result defined by the whole itself. The parts in relation to the whole. Using the skills learned in step 1 of defining the whole of an object through clear focus, the apprentice now sees the original whole as a system of interconnected parts, joined together through skillful craftsmanship. Through practice, the apprentice has learned one method of learning: to understand an object when no mentor is present or available to teach them. It is a way of thinking. However, in order to shape a similar object as the original, the apprentice must learn the characteristics of the materials used to construct the original object and skillfully apply the tools to create the desired result. In the practice of life as a craft, this means understanding the unique characteristics of the inner and the outer human being, oneself, as the primary material of the craft, and the gradual application of the tools of the craft through incremental practice so as not to damage oneself and achieve the desired end result to make a masterpiece of your life. Goal 3. The curriculum. What is to be learned? In the practice of life as a craft, there are 5 elements that make up the curriculum you will study over the 4 phases of your life. In the apprenticeship phase, you will select subjects for learning in each of the 5 elements in partnership with your mentors, who will help you approach each subject at the appropriate level of complexity. Like weightlifting, you begin light and gradually increase as you build your knowledge and skill at each level during the course of your apprenticeship. If you fake it and give only the appearance of understanding and skills in a given subject, you will likely be discredited as incompetent when you enter your Journeywork phase and present yourself to the world as a skilled craftsperson. This can be harmful to both your reputation and your pride, and set you back in your plan to make a masterpiece of your life. The 5 elements. The first element of life as a craft is your family heritage. Your family is alive with a past, a present, and a future. It is the place from which human beings emerge and connect to in some form all the days of our lives. Who you are and who you become is greatly influenced by your connection to family. It is the basis of who we first see ourselves to be, so we begin our training here. To master the first element requires the knowledge and understanding of your family's past, present, and its path toward the future. Sample subjects that you will study include family values, family goals and accomplishments, your ancestry, and family symbols. The second element of life as a craft is concerned with the smooth running of your home, making it a happy place for all family members to live and grow. Families have different rules, policies, and procedures for getting along and living together. If the family and its environment are not managed in a balanced way, conflicts arise, causing pain and distress for family members. Good family management is a critical element to the family's happiness and success. Studies in this element include personal conduct, personal and family property, schedules and time, and safety and security in the home. Element 3, family and personal finance, deals with managing money. Money is a vital resource to fuel the growth of your family, as water is to the growth of a flower. To master this element in all its variations can be a lifelong quest. For this reason, many believe they cannot hope to achieve even a moderate level of craftsmanship in this seemingly complex element. The result is either great distress or distrust on the part of families and individuals when it comes to dealing with this, one of the 5 principal elements of life as a craft. The truth is, however, families and individuals can achieve incremental excellence in this critical element of the craft, providing abundance of resources for family and personal growth. Subjects you will study include budgeting, investing, insurance, retirement, financial goals, and contributions. The fourth element in life as a craft is the human being, the primary material that you will work with. As wood is to the carpenter or clay to the potter, so is the human being to the practitioner of life as a craft. A natural, uneven material, the human being requires special handling. It is both a fragile and resilient material depending upon the conditions. Human beings sprout and grow from the gardens we call families. For this reason, we place knowledge of family heritage and family management for study in advance of studying the human being. The ultimate goal of practicing life as a craft is to make a masterpiece of your life and to teach our children the skills to make a masterpiece of their own. Subjects for study include sexuality, death, emotions, diet, exercise, and career. The fifth and final element of life as a craft concerns itself with powerful instruments called tools. When used in the hands of skilled craftsmen and craftswomen, they produce superior results. When used by the untrained, or when carelessly used, they can cause great and irreparable damage to the fragile human being, the raw material of life as a craft. Tools are employed in diverse applications within all of the first four elements of life as a craft. However, we have identified them as a separate fifth element because we feel tools are unique creations. They are a vital element of life as a craft by themselves. Each tool is an extension of the craftsperson, an instrument to harness and shape the energy within us and around us. Thus, the toolmaker is a special craftsperson among craftspeople. Subjects for study will include types of tools, their care and maintenance, and proper application. Each subject contained within each of the five elements is a body of knowledge unto itself with its own levels of learning. The goal is to achieve incremental excellence in the subjects contained within each of the five elements. That is, what to learn. Beginning in the apprenticeship phase and over the 4 phases of your lifetime, you will seek out your mentors for teaching you the topics in the 5 elements of life as a craft. In the absence of a mentor, you must discover on your own by practicing the skill of how to learn, to find the hidden lessons within the craft work of the invisible crafts person. This is Charles Collins, inviting you to join us for the next episode of Making a Masterpiece of Your Life. Making a Masterpiece of Your Life is made possible by a grant from the Griffin House Trust.